with us Saurabh Gupta, who's the founder promoter of Arcom Consults. It's a design firm which is more than 20 years old. And if I start telling you about what all we do, it's we'll finish all our time in that itself. So we won't do that. But we'll come straight to the point. We are in a COVID environment. I'm Kunal Savarkar, and the one question that I want to ask Saurabh, because he's one of those people who travels the world designing and learning about design, is that how did he deal with the news that everything was going to come more or less to a standstill because of COVID? Sort of all yours.
Yeah, hi all. Hi Kunal. Thanks. Yeah, I think I was as confused and as surprised as everybody else. Uh, but broadly, as I would always do, I tried to look at the opportunities behind this, and I tried to look at what can be made best out of a situation where you can't practically control anything. You can't control if you can go out. You can't control what the future has or the time has in for us. And so it was quite a chaos, and it actually reminded me of a very similar situation of losing control when Kunal and were working in Libya. And Kunal, remember, like when
Yes.
almost reading headlines was okay, but to suddenly know that the whole world of Arcom working for 3 years in Libya with 20 odd people dedicated to the project came to a stop.
I think it's quite interesting that Saurabh has mentioned this because quite strangely, the same thoughts came through my mind that if we could cope with that, we'd get something good out of this as well. So it's not just about coping, it's about actually doing better in this time. Because Libya was a roller coaster. We got in with a project where we had to design, I think it was 3 single houses. And most firms would have thought of it as too small a project. But within a few months, that took us to building what? Something like 16 million square feet in the country.
Yeah, and from large city planning of Jufra to a corporate house at Oya Business Park to actually low-cost housing in Kufra with the
Correct.
entire development. I mean, it was crazy scale for an office which was what, 8 years or 10 years old?
Yes. But the problem, I think, was that, the work there, one day we had work going on in 10 cities in Libya. We didn't even know there were 10 cities in Libya before that. And the next day it all stopped. So from figuring out how our team was going to come back, and some of them came back in military planes sitting on the floor, it was a challenge that we had. I think, you cater for various things as an architectural firm. You think of all that can go wrong, you multiply that by 10, and that's what happened to us then.
Absolutely. I mean, it was crazy. And at that time, I think Arcom took a back seat. We had to first ensure safety of everybody coming back. After that, we had to figure out how do we make sure that we sustain ourselves. And then, of course, how to also keep everybody busy because they were obviously crazily talented, experienced people now on board doing stuff like that. So, and it actually just pretty much has a lot of parallels as I speak right now to the situation today that we've got this beautiful team. We have no idea on what the future of projects would be for some of them, and then how to really kind of have this tug of war of sustaining and ensuring that we keep the team intact. I think that's to me the biggest point of perspective right now. That how do we reorganize and invest into our team and people to ensure that that strength of being together, that camaraderie gets retained, and Arcom keeps its strength without actually bleeding like crazy. Because obviously things will be different. But coming to that, Kunal, I think because we are spread across on government work, and I had two crazily different experiences. If I look at Mumbai, everything is at a standstill because of migrants not there, so workers not there, so sites not happening. While if I look at the old city of Bhubaneswar development that we're trying to do, there's no problem like this. So how within a country the same situation can actually have totally different repercussions? So nothing stops in Bhubaneswar except that you can't travel, and so you can't meet the ministers, you can't meet the people to do the final stakeholder meetings and stuff. So that's a problem. On the other side, the designs are clear, but nothing can touch the ground because there's nobody to construct.
I'll just come
How
back
did
to
you
my
do that?
question. Normally things go on at a mad pace in Arcom, as I'm sure it must be happening in most design firms.
Yeah.
Somewhere have you taken this opportunity of revisiting the work that's being done? Because a lot of it is at a very city scale. The repercussions will be felt for generations to come.
No, first 1 month, I think we were all taking it as a big dose of an opportunity to get some design time, like you said. And because we had kind of prepared ourselves a week before the official lockdown happened, we were pretty much technologically well equipped as the whole team is concerned. So every day, I think I was on Zoom pretty much 12 hours from morning to evening, and it was practically mostly design. And we were looking at design, so we got that design time beautifully in actually both projects that I've just mentioned.
Right.
You know, from Bhubaneswar and to the metro stations of Mumbai, and so that was really good. But I think as architects, we like to smell concrete, we like to visit, we like to interact with people. I think it got on to everybody in a month's time, and so I could see the energy dipping down. So it was kind of tough after a first month, but that breather was incredible for the design thought and intent. And I must say that whether it was a government employee, whether it was a private construction company, or it was a my team, I think everybody was so open to discussions and zooming and all these kind of technology that they really tried their best that life doesn't stop, the work doesn't suffer. That was really good.
So, I'm going to step back once again because my memory of Libya is actually thinking of the responsibility where, you knew that if you drew something, a month later it would be built at a monumental scale.
Crazy.
So, you had these colonnades which were a kilometer long. So, it mattered whether the columns were 300 by 300 or 350 by 350. So, in some ways, is the work that you're doing in Mumbai similar to that? In the sense that it's the scale, the time.
Yeah, I think everything, whether you build a house, like you said, or to build the parts of the city, I think one has to be really careful and sensitive. So that I think is a breather that you got because of the kind of COVID environment. But the problem with the advantage with Libya was also that because it was getting built in that short time, there were not too many interventions. It was getting built exactly the way we wanted it to be. Because as long as our North Star was clear, we had the budgets and the program clear, we could really just roll out drawings. So the fear was that once that got stopped suddenly, we had no idea. We were hoping that maybe 3 months, I mean, things will be sorted and we'll rebuild. So we were looking at all our Google images and seeing if our sites are intact even after the bombings, etc. Right? I actually saw it a few days back, and our mosque is still pretty much the same
As
way.
it was.
Yeah, but it's been 10 years now.
Yeah.
So the challenge was that by the time you come back, if people shift, move, change, then the design will have an impact. I had that same fear with this now, that now we don't know when do we sit across the table and discuss with clients. So if you've done all the good work, now in 5 years from now, 5 months from now, if you have to restart, press the reset button, things might change. The opportunity might just be different, perspectives might be different. Suddenly, whether it's work from home or whether it's the way the cities will behave or people will behave in the future is being debated so much. My contention is I don't think civilizations change so fast. So I'm not sure if there'll be like this massive paradigm shift which will influence urban or architectural projects so much. But that's what is being discussed. So one might need to really rethink a lot.
But when you think of the MMRDA project, I understand, we are designing all these metro stations. And, it's the biggest landscape element in cities now.
Yeah.
Your metro systems.
Yeah.
Whatever city you look at, whether it's Pune, whether it's Bhopal, whether it's, Lucknow. So, in the city of Mumbai, what do you think, why is it so important to get it right?
I think you pretty much answered it a little while back. It's this insane opportunity, but with that opportunity comes crazy responsibility. So for me, the answer is that for a designer to get an opportunity like that and then try to still exercise a degree of restraint is really hard. But you have to imagine that these projects outlive you completely. You have to imagine that whatever you've done has to stand the test of time, test of what's in and out. It has to go way beyond any kind of decoration, so to speak. So it then needs this insane amount of restraint responsibility for me to say that, okay, what we do now stands for the next 50 years or 100 years extremely relevant, extremely functional, and extremely robust for an Indian environment, whether it's people or it's place or it's just our climate. So I think that really becomes the big issue.
So I'm going to ask you a question about one of your influences. Because I remember standing at the side of the seashore in Libya, and both of us used to always think that, Italy, France was only 40 minutes across.
Benghazi, that
Yeah,
was
right,
always
yeah.
in Benghazi, yeah.
So one of the things that we thought was that Le Corbusier liked looking at the Mediterranean. In fact, that's how he eventually, he died just after swimming, right? He had a heart attack. So that's very tragic actually. But the point is that was a part of his life. We were on the other side. If he'd got this opportunity that we did in Libya, what might he have done?
Oof. So I think we needed a little bit more time and slightly more educated client base. I would like to believe, although I've read letters of his writing to Nehru on how in Chandigarh nobody's listening to him and nobody's following
Right.
drawings. So he was on the same boat actually.
That's news to me.
Yeah, oh, it was crazy. You have to see his frustrated letters on what all was going on when he was trying to build Chandigarh, and so much of it probably was not built to his plan
Right.
because he had the same energy. So I don't think anybody does it differently. We have all to go through that same frustrating reality that you have clients who may not understand you. You will have budgets which will never be met, and you'll have timelines you'll always short on, and you'll be dealing with contractors who have no clue what they're doing. I think that's been the reality throughout, and it stays the way it is. So we would have done. I mean, he would have probably brought his name and experience, and maybe pushed a little harder in some places. But I think we were no novices. We were doing our bit.
So which basically means that architecture is timeless. These
Yeah.
issues are timeless, which means in a post-COVID world, things would probably again come back to normal in a sense.
Yeah.
And it's too early to say whether it would be a drastic.
Yeah, I think the only thing
paradigm
is that now for some unnecessary one half an hour meeting, we will not have to go 4 hour flight. Like I end up going to Bombay for these half an hour meetings, which would totally take one day, and one day means
I
12
think we'll
hours.
edit this part out.
Okay, but yeah, the point is that this really helps in getting people to know that technology can help, and I think people will embrace that for sure. So I think technology will be embraced slightly better, which is great. People will probably start working a little bit out of home and probably making the best of the home environment as well, which completely gets missed, especially in the big metropolitans. But yeah, I think otherwise it'll be life as usual, and thank God for that.
So I think that's very interesting because from what Saurabh just told us, it appears like the world had to grapple with lockdown 1.0, but he'd already faced lockdown 0.0 about 10 years back. And I think, when you take everything as an opportunity, I mean, I don't think anybody would use the word opportunity for what happened in Libya. I certainly didn't see it as an opportunity. I'm glad Saurabh thought of it that way because suddenly you had a lot of people, a lot of projects in limbo. Just the documentation, I remember, of that took us almost 3 months.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's good it happened in the sense that the documentation had to happen, but I wish it had happened in another way.
Totally. Yeah. So I think, that's the message. Everything one needs to look at a silver lining and keep going. So stay strong, stay healthy, guys. Thank you. Thanks, man.
Thanks, Saurabh. Thank you, guys.